Welcome to episode 5, and this is the Chopster. Next idea time. So this is an idea I've had for ages, before I had a garage, before I had a workshop or anything like that. This is something I've wanted to build for my kids, and I've been looking at drift trikes. Now, drift trikes, love them, think they're great, have had a go on one, absolutely great fun. But my biggest worry is I have nowhere to use this thing. I don't want to be using it in car parks, don't want to use it on the road. So I've come up with something to help my kids when we go to big car shows. Silverstone, when we go around at Silverstone, it's a long way around, especially for their little legs. So what I want to do is I want to get a push bike, which will look something like that. Sorry about the terrible drawing here. So you got a push bike. I then want to mount it together with a mobility scooter. Now the mobility scooter is my weapon of choice because these things can go absolutely anywhere. They're completely silent, they don't annoy anybody, and they've only got 6 or 7 mile an hour speed on them, so they just don't annoy anybody, which is great. Now the plan is cut the back end off the bike. I then want to weld the mobility scooter to the back end of it. And then I'm going to bring this bar down to here. So that'll give me something that looks a bit like, let's double frame this up, a little bit like that. I'm then hopefully going to lean the steering back as well, and that will give it this kind of chopper look to it. Then I'll move the steering back so you can hold on to it from the rear. Now this back seat will just not do anymore. So what I want to do is, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to use a seat like that. I don't know if I'm going to use the bike seat down here. I just don't know what's going to be comfortable and what's going to be usable for it. Now, my kids have seen this design already, and they have named this thing aptly the Chopster. So I'm going to go and find a mobility scooter and a bike, and I'll catch back with you. So the plan is I'm going to cut the retaining bar through the middle out of it, remove the wheel, remove all of the sprocket and stuff, and remove the seat. I'm then going to get the blowtorch on the top half here, and I'm going to bend this section back down to here to give it that kind of sloping downward look. And then this part here will actually duck underneath the rest of the mobility scooter. So wish me luck and happy chopping. Right, just finished the top half of the frame. So I made numerous cuts all the way along the top. Then got a pry bar inside it, and actually my own body weight to bring it down to the shape and the style I wanted. I've made little plates and dotted them in, and then I've done what's known in the industry as welding air. So I've actually welded all of the gaps up that I've then created, but it's now got that very sleek kind of chopper look to it. So it really, really tucks down after the handlebars. You can see the front forks are leaning back as well, so it's really becoming the Chopster. So you can see now this real slick shape I've got. I've cut a couple of these brackets off, ground down all of the centre of this as well. Put a few welds here, so this actually holds now nice and strong and tight as well. What I'm going to do is actually stop working on this now though, and I'm going to start chopping up the mobility scooter. Reason for that is there's no point in keep plating this area if it's not going to work how I'm originally thinking it's going to work. So now the strength is there, you can see that lovely slick chopper look, exactly what I was going for, to be honest. And now time to move on to the mobility scooter. And there we go, that's it, finished. That's what it should look like. Right, so here's the lowdown. This is what we're up to for the moment. So what I'm going to do, I've chucked the basket off the front, I'm going to take the seat off, take the battery off, and then I'm going to try and get rid of this. I'm going to route all the wiring back and just kind of pull it into the back half. I'm going to leave the back half alone as much as I can until that front is finished, because obviously lining that up and making that safe and secure is really the primary focus for this. The rest of the electrics and stuff I can kind of attach back on after, but the main primary bit is actually to get that working. Well, this bit was rather entertaining. So the mobility scooter actually is a fold-away travel one, which I didn't know. I know nothing about mobility scooters, quite obviously. So yeah, it folds away into numerous different pieces, which was great because that means I can just get rid of the front half and a little bit of the back of it, and yeah, it's going to be quite a simple thing to do actually. So yeah, I'm really pleased. So I'm going to cut the deck off around this plastic bit, which I'm going to use a jigsaw for, and then I'll be able to tidy up the floor and basically weld the front end onto it. Well, that's the plan anyway. So let's give this a go. Right, so there it is. That is the front end chopped off. I did manage to actually cut the wires all the way through this, which is probably 7 wires inside the core as well. Maybe I was being careless, maybe I was rushing, maybe it just needed to happen, but you will never know. I wish I hadn't done it, I'll tell you that much. But here it comes. This is the first amalgamation of what I am trying to create. I'm going to find some bricks. Let's prop this thing up. And there you have it, the first ever showing of the Chopster. So obviously we're going to put a seat a bit lower down. We're going to get these handlebars manipulated right to where we want them. We'll plate all the sides and smooth it all off. And then we've got the Chopster complete. Bit of wiring obviously to put the controls back at the front and decide how I actually want them, whether I'm going to have a foot control or whether it's going to be something different. But I think you'll admit, that's pretty cool. Well, there we have it, that is the Chopster. So I've managed to start plating along the edges here. I've got to finish the welds off yet. I've started as well to actually put the footrest on. I've actually used an old scruffy ratchet I had lying around in the bin actually. So I've used that actually as a footrest. So I'm going to try and find another one of those in the next couple of weeks to bring the footrest across. I thought it's a nicer finish. Again, I'll clean up the welds around it, but there's loads of strength all the way back into the frame now. It can take me on it. I've had a little bounce up and down, make sure it's safe and sound on there, and yeah, everything's really going well. I'm going to pull the wiring back through now, and I'm going to start looking at the controls and actually how I'm going to mount them. Because the problem is with that toggle switch, your hands need to be quite close together, whereas I want it to have a nice big chopper feel with some handlebars. But yeah, the whole project's going really well. I've had 2 hours on it to actually get it to this stage, so yeah, absolutely brilliant. Really pleased with progress. Right, time to do the wiring on the chopper. I am on 7 hours for complete build currently, and that's with these bits finished. So I've got the potentiometer to go on top of the steering. So that means that the big ugly box the mobility scooter had on the top, I've managed to move that to between my legs. As such, I needed to then move the throttle from that control box. So that's that bit. And then here is my new control box. So the new control box, I've used a little stencil, I've cut it out. This is made out of some plastic I had lying around. Put the fuel level in there, got your ignition key in the centre, and I've also left the horn in there as well. And then I'm going to tidy up some of the wiring on the back, but that is all done. Right, that's all the fabrication finished. So I've just taken the Chopster down for paint. It's going to be there for about a week. Now all the fabrication and all the wiring up to this far, well, I'm only up to 9 hours, so absolutely brilliant. I'm now going to crack on with getting the seat sorted. So this seat is off a go-kart. I managed to find this second hand. The reason I went for this one is it's actually a bit softer and it's more cushioned as well. So when you're riding around, if you're in it for a little while, then it's not too fierce on you. The other thing is, I've actually used encapsulated nuts in the back to bolt this through. Now the reason I bolted it through is because this is a fiberglass seat, so I needed to actually squeeze it in this casing I've made. So it has a metal band from the back all the way round to underneath to these little posts. Now these posts slot in either side of the frame on the Chopster, and then this is the rear post that would have actually been the seat base on the back of the mobility scooter. So that slots in. I've then welded it at the angle we wanted the seat, and this is nice and strong so we can actually use it, and it comes on and off as well nice and easily. I've then given this a nice little blast of black satin, got the Anarchy garage stickers on, so it's all ready to go.
So there she is, the Chopster is back from paint. As you can see, the kids chose orange. Their choice, not mine, but I do actually really like it. I'm going to show you a few of these bits and bobs around it as well that I didn't actually get around to filming. First of all, you'll see it's got these nice big swooping handlebars on it now. And then I've also put some plates on here, and these are dimple dyed as well. Not because it really needs the strength, but it just looks cool. Really, really pleased with it. Just putting all the wiring back together, and then we can go for a first riff on it. Right, you can see she's coming together really, really well now. Really, really pleased with how it's going. I've just taken apart all of the battery segment from it. The reason being is basically I didn't know which way the wires went round. I didn't label them up. It's hard to work out obviously when somebody else has done it. But now I've figured it out. I'm connecting this base plate up across here, and then we'll be hopefully ready to go for a test drive. Now, a little thing I've just snuck in. I've actually just drilled a hole through the side of here, which is going to sit underneath the seat. Now, what this is for is actually the speed controller. Because when my kids are on this is so powerful, I really need to turn this down because they really could hurt somebody or themselves with it. So I've put the little knob just under here, so it's just out of sight for them. But so if I jump on it, because obviously this will take my weight and I want to have a go on it as well, then I can just turn the knob just really subtly under the seat without them knowing. And then obviously it'll keep them under control a bit, hopefully. Right, so that's the wiring done. So you can see the wire running along the side here. A lot of people I know are going to say, why haven't you cut into the tube, run it through there and it'll look a lot neater. Yes, I know it would, but the only thing is, I'm up to 10 hours on this build. I want this to be quick, easy and put together so even you guys at home could build something like this. I wanted to show you how simple something like this can really be. Now, I know I haven't put any hours into it painting it, but at 10 hours for this whole build, I think I'm doing pretty well. I've also smartened the throttle up as well, so you've got just a simple forwards there, or push back for reverse, nice and easy to control. Foot pegs obviously are made out of old ratchets, and then we've got the control board which is just here. Now this I'm actually going to velcro onto the frame, so I'm going to use double-sided velcro so I can stick it down, and then if I ever need to access it, I can do as well. We've got a horn here, keys, and obviously fuel level, and then down the side just snuck away so the kids hopefully don't see it. Right, so what I'm doing now, this is a little thing that my kids asked for and I just hadn't quite got round to yet, which is they asked for a drinks holder on the Chopster. So all I'm going to do is, I've got this demonstration can, which is really nice. It fits a can in there really nicely. I've drilled 2 holes, and what I'm going to do is actually weld it from the bottom and then weld through just to attach it on. This is actually the old seat post. So as you see, it comes up at an angle, but that then means that your can will be held upright in the Chopster, which is quite cool actually. So there it is, the Chopster is now finished. It's got an 18 stone capacity. It's also got a 15-mile range and BMX wheels on the front, Chopster style handlebars, a drinks holder and also a go-kart seat for good measure. So all I need now is 2 people to test it out with me. Oh look, maybe drive-through?
Yay!
Please, can I have 2 kids meals, please? 1 chicken nuggets and 1 hamburger, please.
What drinks would you like, please?
2 fruit shoots, please.
Come to window 1, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it, that is the Chopster officially tested. So, you may have noticed I now have a trailer. So this is a cheap eBay garden trailer I managed to get hold of. Cut the wheels off from underneath. It now has go-kart axle on the back with some serious camber. So now it's tested, it is officially an Anarchy vehicle with its name on the side. So if you do see this vehicle, Shep, me or my kids, come and say hello. We'll keep some stickers on board, but for now, follow the next episode of the Anarchy Garage.